Hello, this is SmallDev's channel, and today we're gonna write a shooting game when you are collecting on items to get the highest score possible. But you have to be careful and avoid pufferfish, which is going to bring your score down. Without further ado, let's get scratching. First, let's create two variables, player X and player Y, which is gonna store the coordinates of our sprite. It is a little bit redundant, but we need those to store our coordinates and share those with the other sprites. Now let's create update player position block to move our player to the desired place on the stage. Our block is going to have two parameters, X and Y. Now let's define the block body, making sure that we are keeping the player positioned and the sprite coordinates in sync. Next, let's create a keyboard handlers to move our characters by 5 pixels left or right. Next, we have to figure out the size of our character to make sure that it fits the screen perfectly. As you can see, player can move to the left and right, so let's move to the next step, which is shooting. To do this, create another sprite for our projectile. Yeah, ball looks nice. To implement it, we're gonna create another variable is projectile spawn to make sure that we indicate whether the projectile is on the stage or not. This is the place where we're gonna make use of our player X and Y variables. We're gonna have another keyboard handler to our player to make sure that the projectile is spawned in the right time. We're gonna put a limitation on the number of the projectile of the screen, and there's gonna be only one at the time. As we can see, it works like a charm. To make sure that we know everything that is going on in our game, we need following pieces of information. We need to know whether our game is still running, we need to know what is the score, and we need to know what is game speed. To keep those data, let's create appropriate variables. Next, we're gonna create invisible sprite, which is going to handle everything related to our game. Let's call it Game Controller. Game controller is going to assign initial values of our variables and also update these during the course of the game. To make sure that our game is not too easy, let's increase the speed every 3 seconds. We're gonna have two types of items. First, gonna be collectible, bonus, which gonna increase our score. The other one, bomb, that's gonna kill us in case we touch it. For bomb, we're gonna select puffy fish. For collectible items, we're gonna use a donut. Here we're gonna create a piece of code that sets the item type. That's gonna be random. We're gonna create two variables for our sprite. First, it's gonna tell us about the item speed, and the other one, it's gonna describe the item type. We have to set appropriate costume accordingly. Let's do some quick cleanup on our stage. Next, we're gonna implement the item movement and handle collisions with other type of sprites, like player, ground and projectile. To make sure that all items are destroyed, we're gonna create another sprite called ground. Let's place it just beneath our character. Setting position of the player at the very beginning of the game is incorrect. Let's fix it. Next step is make sure that all the sprites except for our player are hidden when starting the game. As you can see, items are spawning, but the position of the spawn is incorrect. Let's fix it. That looks about right. Now we have moved to game controller and implement score counting. that's it. Hopefully you like it. Please let me know in the comments down below what kind of items are falling from the sky in your game. Stay tuned and have a happy scratching!